Imagine for a second, you're playing a game you've sunk hours into, literally explored every possible crevice. You know each aspect of the story by heart, and you've managed to get every secret and achievement possible. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, something inexplicable happens. You randomly uncover an Easter egg or glitch that no one has ever seen before. You jump straight to the game's subreddit, and before you can even fully think about it, post to your heart's content. It's a proud moment for sure, and one that sends the community into a frenzy. Even more than that, what if you had no idea what type of secret you had discovered? You came to a rather peculiar part of a game that you just picked up, searched for answers online, coming up empty. That's when you jump into action on Reddit, and come to find out, bam, you are the only person in the world to have found it. Well, that's exactly what transpired recently from a user named Sadfutago in the NieR subreddit. A curious and innocent post made just a few months ago blew the world of NieR wide open. In this video, I'll start all the way back at the beginning of one of the most enthralling gaming community experiences I've ever been a part of. Was it an Easter egg? Was it something that was patched out of the game? Was it a mod? Was it an elaborate media promotion? So many questions spawned in the fallout of a few Reddit posts, and even in its conclusion, left many fans around the world scratching their heads. This is the story of the Secret Church. Released in 2017, NieR Automata was an incredible success. Despite being a sequel from a less popular franchise, something about the combination of Automata's unique gameplay mechanics, aesthetic, music, and, well, this, propelled the game to sell millions of copies worldwide. And he praised the title's elaborate lore as well, leading to loads of backstory exploration into NieR Replicant and even the earlier Drakengard series on the PS2 and 3. The popularity of 2B and 9S even prompted a re-release of NieR Replicant and a Nintendo Switch port of Automata. However, despite this recent announcement, the game has gone mostly stagnant the past few years. And now, approaching 5 years into the game, nothing new has come about it for some time. But all of that was about to change. In May of 2022, a user by the name of Sadfutago would head to the NieR fanart subreddit and post a question, asking how to access the church in NieR Automata. This was met with basically no replies, and seeing a potential misstep, he went on to post a similar question in the NieR Automata subreddit. His post read as follows.
How to access the church. Hello, I'm new to Reddit. I was wondering how to open the church in NieR Automata.
This post took a couple of people by surprise, and noticing the user was new to the game, they decided to be as helpful as possible. One user asks, "Can you describe the building you're asking about a little more? There's not really a church that I can remember, but there's a couple of things I can think of that you might be referring to here."
Sorry, it's the place in the underground copied city where you fight the boss, Adam. I can open the door to the church area, fine, but my friend who's at the same part of the game as me cannot open it.
Another user seemed immediately skeptical, mentioning, "You can't go inside any building at all in the copied city." He challenged OP for some screenshots, and after some initial logistical issues, he posted these. Now, I've played NieR Automata multiple times, and I've never come across anything that looked even remotely like this. Sadfutago followed this up 4 days later with a video recording of his television while playing the game to add further legitimacy. The few members of the community that saw this were torn between being in awe and pessimistic of a modded game. Then he went a step further and posted his findings to the official NieR subreddit, garnering a larger audience. Let's take a look. Ironically, despite the can of worms Sadfutago's posts opened, they went mostly unaddressed for over a month. There simply wasn't enough substance to really justify looking into the question further. The small bit of chatter that did come about was people accusing Sadfutago of either trolling or modding the heck out of the game. Then, on July 5th, 2022, Sadfutago would post yet another video that would ignite the interest from video game fans across the planet. Check this out. In this video, Sadfutago elaborates quite a bit on a room hidden behind a door within the copied city. The room seems mostly empty, but contains a large ladder that, if descended down, leads to a strange, twisted hallway. The video then abruptly ends with an unconvincing explanation that Sadfutago's capture device, quote, ran out of space. Oh boy, now at this point he was just teasing us. The video ended up surfacing on Twitter, gaining thousands of views within hours. That's where I first saw it at. Now Sadfutago's post was branching outside of the NieR community and attracting the attention of gaming columns, YouTubers, and influencers all over the world. The scarcity of his posts and replies, mixed with the alluring mystery and questions surrounding them, made this secret that much more exciting. Sure, Easter eggs and secrets have popped up years after a game's release, but at least most of these seemed somewhat finite. The bits and pieces that Sadfutago was feeding us had us salivating for more. The next day, I dove straight into the madness of NieR Automata's mystery. Right out of the gate, there were a few glaring questions I wanted answers to. 1. Who was Sadfutago? 2. Was this footage even real? And if so, could anyone else replicate it? Jumping into the first question had the community in shambles. Browsing through the post history of Sadfutago yielded absolutely nothing, as his account was seemingly created to ask the question about the secret church in the first place. Funnier still was the lack of traction that his first post received. Instead of writing off his initial attempt as futile, he went on to post about it over a month later. Had Sadfutago really been stewing about this secret for over a month without saying anything else? This made me a bit unsure as to what his true intentions may have been. Now that his posts had begun to gain traction, theories of the secret church being a hoax began to sweep in. For instance, one user even mentioned that Sadfutago's profile name translates to Sad Twins from Japanese. The NieR universe is certainly no stranger to twins. Could this be a nod to Devola and Popula? Perhaps Emil and his older twin sister, Halua? This little detail, to me, seemed a bit too convenient to be a coincidence. After all, the way Sadfutago posted, it made it sound like his username should have been like Reddit user 1234. The second question that really threw me for a loop was whether or not the footage was real. This led me to a late night soiree on the NieR Automata modding community Discord, where things were just a bit chaotic to say the least. I couldn't even get a word in edgewise. The group was largely split between believing Sadfutago's post to be an elaborate hoax and having it be real. But the former opinion holders all had no real way to prove that it was fake. NieR Automata modding was not up to the point of what was being displayed here. The work presented was theorized to require a massive team and time commitment to achieve. The Discord was flooded with speculation and spontaneous memes. People were honestly flabbergasted. Sadfutago had previously confirmed to have a day one copy of the game and was not connected to the internet. This led others with a similar copy to try and recreate it for themselves, as to no avail. Just how does this door open? What secret event triggers had to be in order for it to occur? Never in my years of playing video games had I been so excited or in the moment of something that I wasn't sure was real. Sure, there have been plenty of ARGs out there I knew were kind of fake from the beginning, but the lingering question of validity was enthralling here. I was caught up in the chaos and loved every minute of it. And then, like clockwork, Sadfutago posted yet again. At this point, it became apparent that Sadfutago had figured out how to post longer videos to Reddit. In this 4-minute clip, the spiral hallway was traversed, and the resultant church and corresponding figures blew everybody away. All the while, Sadfutago continued to appear oblivious to the reality of what he was uncovering. Let's unpack what can be seen here. There is a front part of the church that contains a figure laying at the altar, which I'm assuming is Yona? That's my guess. A black, blocky-looking being is floating near it, possibly the Shadow Lord. An object, possibly a book, is spotted floating up to the window and leaving. Staffs belonging to Devola and Popula appear in the corner of the room. Wow. Was this an Easter egg relating to Replicant in some way? There is just too much of a similarity here to pass it off as anything else. The rumors were flying, and some of them were just pure genius. With the looming release of NieR Automata on the Nintendo Switch, some big-brained fans pointed to the series creator Yoko Taro. Perhaps he created this as a way to garner hype for the Switch version? Another user on Reddit hypothesized that Taro had hidden this Easter egg in only one copy of the game, almost like a Willy Wonka-style golden ticket, and just waited for someone to find it. And of course, for some, maybe Taro was just trolling all of us, and none of it meant anything at all. Maybe he wasn't even involved. After hundreds of eager fans had tagged him in their myriad of questions concerning Sadfutago's posts, Yoko Taro's response was just about as on brand as you'd expect. He simply redirected one such tweet to his Twitter bio, revealing that he couldn't divulge info about the game. Was he culpable, or just trolling like he always does? See, for those who aren't familiar, Yoko Taro is somewhat of a goofy guy to say the least. He's been known to troll with just about anything, as well as drop the occasional Easter egg. The plot thickened. As the community continued to speculate, Sadfutago kept posting. On July 26th, his posting frequency seemed to amp up quite a bit. As the NieR Automata modding community was feverishly trying to figure out to what extent these posts were legitimate, the subreddit were actively assisting Sadfutago in his journey minute by minute, deeper into Pandora's box. Even more so, his technical acumen seemed to increase because his capture techniques and quickness in reporting back his updated progress, they were all excelling. However, after all the progress Sadfutago seemed to make, he was still having quite a bit of trouble. After finally defeating the black blobby thing that many speculators assumed to be Shadow Lord, he was left in a do loop. Each time he would interact with that bird fountain or other items in the church, random Korean letters would display and transport him all the way back to the beginning of that area. At this point, everyone in the community seemed to be out of answers and advice and just along for the ride. Then, the video stopped, and 5 seemingly random images followed. Z, E, 3, 4, and finally, Zinnia. Ring a bell to anybody that's a NieR fan? People were foaming at the mouth. I just remember refreshing the subreddit latest tab in hopes of seeing something more. Just another clue, another video, another image, something to keep the excitement alive and chugging along. And then, just as I was about to go to sleep, Sadfutago posted a bombshell, a Twitch link with no other descriptions. And just with that, thousands of NieR fans around the world learned the truth of the church and one of the craziest Easter egg hunts in modern gaming history. Here is the stream. Well, it was all fake. Sometimes I guess things can be too good to be true. Sadfutago went on to explain that the church and everything that followed was nothing more than an elaborate mod cooked up by him and a team of very talented people. What's more impressive is that they managed to conjure this whole thing up without leaking the information out to the public. Bravo! The sheer skill involved in a hoax this detailed was incredible. There was no Yoko Taro involvement, no real unused content, no secret revealed to a new NieR game, just some good old-fashioned modding. I was incredibly disappointed at first watching that final stream. But you know what? This was one of the biggest community scavenger hunts I've ever been a part of. For once, the NieR subreddit wasn't overwhelmed with lewd cosplay or poorly drawn fan art. For the first time in 5 years, the game felt alive again. It felt new again. Sadfutago posted a final AMA session in the NieR subreddit where he was very open about the mod and encouraged others to ask lingering questions they had. Overall, the community had a resounding feedback for them. Although some fans were understandably bitter, most gave the team tons of praise, and it gives you a lot of hope for the gaming community to go back through and read those Q&As. To top everything off, the team even released a playable version of the mod a few weeks later, after the reveal. That way, fellow NieR enthusiasts could relive the excitement one more time. Although this is where the story ends, I can't help but think back to that week now that a few months have gone by. Sadfutago and the Secret Church was a masterpiece in wonder and pontification, certainly one for the history books. I smile when I think about it. The entire event convinced me to go back and play through a bit of Automata again, wondering what Yoko Taro must have thought seeing his game back in the spotlight. And well, made me dream about how cool it would be to have been real. Perhaps one day we will get a real rabbit hole like this opened up that will set the gaming world on fire. We'll just have to wait and see. But let's not give Taro any more ideas.